How will UX and design thinking influence how executives fund product development in the future? Design thinking has been around for a while. UX has been around for a long time. A lot of human-centered engineering being talked about even when I went to university a long, long time ago. But it seems that the world has cottoned on to the whole idea of discovery. In UX, one of the patterns is lean UX from Joshua Seiden and Jeff Godolph. And there's a couple of different versions of design thinking out there, one from Stanford and one from IDEO, all pretty much kind of with the same ethos, which is how can we really fill the funnel with work in product development when we don't have that much confidence that we're going to get the value. A lot of the time people build business cases for some piece of product development and they think they're going to earn so many millions and they're going to do it in this market and do all these wonderful things. But actually really clever executives, what they do is they treat a lot of the ideas as assumptions that need to be validated. The lean startup started this maybe 10 or more years ago in particular, and they said, well, what is quality if you don't know who the customer is? So the idea was, why would you build a high quality, full-fledged product? Why would you fill your funnel with all that stuff when actually we haven't validated whether people actually want that idea, whether they want that product? And people have used minimum viable product as well, and it has become a little bit kind of perverted, and it has become what is the worst product we can deliver in the time frame, instead of what's the least amount of work we need to do to learn the next most important thing. And I think learning is the big change. I can see a wave. I can see there's something happening in the sea of agility at the moment, from delivery to discovery to delivery. So, or discover to not deliver, even to find the ideas that you should not build. One of the reasons why the lean startup kind of came about was it was kind of a reaction to the dot-com bubble burst 10 years before lean startup came out, and people had been raising loads of venture capital money and burning loads of money. I remember people used to have bragging rights for how much money they raised and how much money they burned, and it was hundreds of millions of dollars, just incredible. And so the idea was, when lean startup came along, well, why do we have to burn all this money? Why don't we just do really cheap experiments to figure out if people even want this? Are these the right customers? Are these the right users? Would they pay for this? Maybe the price point that we have in mind is $15, but the customer wants to pay 15 cents, or maybe they want it to be free. Maybe it's the wrong solution. Maybe the market isn't ready yet. Maybe we need to do something more complete. We don't know. So if you have lots of evidence as an executive that we should build this product and all the ideas within the product, you should just build it. But the reality is that there will be lots of ideas in your product where you won't really have that much confidence about whether you're going to harvest the value. They might seem like good ideas, but what you don't want to happen as an executive is you put those ideas out there and it's like crickets and tumbleweed, and nothing happens, and you're left wondering, like, why did customers not come to my product? These days, executives need to be talking more regularly to customers, end users, visiting all the markets, seeing customers in the eye. I know we've got a distributed world now, but actually going out visiting people, really understanding what's going on beyond the Teams calls, the Zoom calls. What are try to get to those kind of informal conversations where you really find out what's going on. And by understanding more what the customers are really looking for and listening to what customers are complaining about, but also asking better questions like, what are your coping strategies at the moment? Do you have viable workarounds? Because when customers complain about things, that doesn't necessarily mean they need you to deliver a solution. So we have lots and lots of ideas, and I reckon between 60 and 90% of those ideas should never be built. And you will discover lots of better ideas by accident if you run cheap experiments to find out, is there value here? Like what the guy in Zappos, when he wanted to figure out if women would buy expensive shoes online, he built a beautiful website. It was lovely, but there was nothing behind it. So when somebody ordered, he just received an email and went out to the store, bought the shoes, packed it up in Zappos packaging, sent it off by FedEx. He didn't lose his shirt. He didn't burn millions building a big fulfillment system. He did validate the idea. Women with expensive taste in shoes did buy shoes online, and they didn't just return them after parting one night. They were honest, and there was a general pattern of ethical customers buying high quality products, branded products on his website. And these are the kind of experiments you need to do before you lose your shirt, your blouse. Before you do that, why not do some really cheap experiments to validate those ideas. It's the way of the future. And for me, Scrum.org is a wonderful class called Scrum at UX. My most popular class, actually. I've got a class that's nearly full later on again today. And it's a lovely way of discovering those ideas, that you don't need to build. Kanban is about delivering things faster, in a sense, optimizing delivery of value, but you can even optimize it more by actually not putting more things into the funnel. You can use UX and design thinking to discover those ideas you should never build.